for my next video, I was wondering what I was going to do. So I started looking around at that park place for some articles, wondering what caught my eye. And then this little gem caught my eye. Genshin Impact boycotters claim game is attempting to eradicate minorities but implicitly tell players to continue to play. Okay, I'm gonna put it out here. I do not play Genshin Impact. The community, in my personal opinion, is by far one of the most toxic gaming communities I've ever seen. Now, just to state, that's not everyone. It's just a large portion of them are insufferable. Now, without further ado, let me go ahead and read this. A boycott has been launched by a handful of Genshin Impact players, and the leaders of the boycott are instructing players to continue. Hold on. A boycott has been launched by a handful of Genshin Impact players, and the leaders of the boycott are instructing players to continue to play the game. Okay. I thought the purpose of a boycott was for you to boycott something, not for a bunch of you to still continue to play the game, but okay. The Genshin Impact boycotters launched a petition on change.org accusing developer MiHoYo or Hoyoverse of cultural appropriation and whitewashing. The petition states, "We call on MiHoYo to stop cultural appropriation and whitewashing in their games and commit to respectful and accurate representation of all cultures." Do they not realize that MiHoYo still has to abide by the Chinese government's laws? If the Chinese government doesn't like something, MiHoYo has to do it. Oh dear lord. If continues, MiHoYo, a leading game development company, has reportedly taken inspiration from indigenous cultures without proper representation and respect, in particular the many characters from Sumaru and Natlin in Genshin Impact, and from Piconi and Honkai Star Rail are all clearly white or lightly tanned at best. Okay. With the exception of some enemy NPCs, which has sparked concerns of racism among players and indigenous communities. What? Oh, it's these types. Okay, I will hold my judgment until I finish reading. Next, it declares cultural appropriation and whitewashing perpetuate harmful stereotypes and diminish the rich cultural heritage of indigenous communities. These practices not only misrepresent culture, but also contribute to ongoing marginalization and disrespect. It then issues a list of demands MiHoYo to engage with indigenous culture, consultants revise existing content. It then issues a list of demands MiHoYo to engage with indigenous culture consultants. I'm guessing they're probably wanting Sweet Baby Inc. to get involved. Those people should stay away from the game. I don't like the game, but still stay away. Revising existing content to ensure accurate representation. They want them to... Oh dear lord. Commit to creating diverse and inclusive characters. What does that even mean? The petition currently has 43,428 signatures. Well, with how popular Genshin Impact is, that is a very small pool of people, to tell you the truth. On top of this petition, an X account called Hoyoverse Boycott was also created last week. Okay, the account provides instructions to players participating in the boycott. On the do side, it requests players review bomb the game as well as provide feedback to Hoyoverse via its surveys and to send complaints to customer support. It also asks players to contact your local politician. Wait a minute! Having government officials get involved in this sort of thing is a waste of taxpayer money, and you do not want government officials getting involved in this sort of thing because they won't know what they're talking about. And second of all, I thought review bombing stuff was bad. Oh, so it's only good when you people do it. Got it. On the don't side of it instructions, it implies the players should continue to play the game despite labeling the list as boycott Hoyoverse. It instructs players to not make any purchases, participate in giveaways, and participate in Hoyoverse economic flow. such as battle passes, purchasable login rewards, merchandise, and collaboration. Please, we ask you all to follow our guidelines during this boycott. In fact, the boycotters even informed the person that they can continue to purchase Genshin Impact plushies. That's the same thing! Merchandise not made by Hoyoverse are not targets of the boycott. As long as the money is not interacting with Hoyoverse, you may purchase Genshin HSR Z related items. Does this mean that I should does this mean that I should also stop getting these Genshin plushies from AliExpress too? Because I fully support this boycott and don't want to do STH bad. Merchandise not made by Hoyoverse are not targets of the boycott. As long as the money is not interacting with Hoyoverse, you may purchase Genshin HSR Z related items. Retweet being Defender, who says read first post from HYB boycott account states, I think it's safe to say that we have all had enough to first post to the HYB boycott account states. I think it's safe to say that we have all had enough of the erasure of our cultures and identity. Today I introduce you all to Boycott Hoyoverse. We will be an account sharing how you can boycott, spread the word, anything else. I don't think that's really possible that Genshin Impact or Hoyoverse can erase other people's culture just by taking inspiration from them. Stupid. Minorities deserve to be seen, not erased. Give a good reason. Not just because someone is a minority does not mean they deserve to be seen. Why do I get the feeling that these people are using minorities as a shield and they're using them as these people are using minorities as a shield so you can't criticize their movement? That's what they're doing here, in my first opinion. In another thread, the account detailed there has been a distinct lack of darker skin tone represented in the game. Characters from these cultures are actively being heavily referenced but are being whitewashed. This is especially noticeable and ever present in not only Shimura, Natlan, but also other nations. Why should it matter what the skin color is? If the character has a cool design and that character's fun to play as, that's all that really matters. These practices not only misrepresent said cultures, but also contribute to the ongoing marginalization and disrespect that is perpetuating colorism further in the media, causing even more harm than good to communities and groups of individuals who are part of them. The account continues. Evidence, please, of this sort of accusation. Activists, I'm telling you. Patches are not, there has been distinct. Okay, that they're just going over that. It then declared to improve the accuracy of representation plea. Engage with indigenous culture consultants. How about no? Revise existing content to ensure accurate representation. Commit to creating diverse and inclusive characters. It then calls for characters with disabilities. Disabilities are also underrepresented in the game. It would help enormously to normalize and improve understanding around various conditions to reduce stigma and ableism in such a large cast. There should be proportionate amount of representation. Oh my gosh. Next, the account declared for centuries minorities have been subject to attempted eradication. Today, they face dangers of their culture being erased in continued attempts to remove them from society. Genshin has worsened this issue by aiding these people through the means of influence. Evidence, please! Evidence of this? It added, we sincerely ask that you do not adapt the virtues that the oppressors wish for all we have. It added, we sincerely ask that you do not adapt the virtues that the oppressors wish for all to have. Using cultures only to remove the people from it cannot be tolerated. From there, the account posted, this is an old colonist tactic used for centuries by omitting them from media where you do not see or hear from these minorities. Their silent disappearance from the world is something that Genshin is assisting in, normalizing the idea that black and brown people do not exist and do not deserve to be seen. You will end up with a racist community if posted. Racism draws from fiction and falsehoods. The only reason for its continued existence today is due to preservation and cultivation of it in places seemingly innocent, it claimed. Next, it declared Genshin is currently creating a very welcoming environment for people that do not want for black or brown people to exist. This is very clearly evident with the way the writers intend for people to interact with these characters in your story. We urge you all to rethink this fact, the account stated. From there, it posted the further international media intends for brown and black people to beg for their right to be seen. And the worse international racism gets, this is not something the story about coexistence and togetherness should promote. Genshin and other Hoyoverse products have reportedly decided to support, defend, and paint colonialism in a positive light. This is a thing that society today wishes to move on from, the account declared. Scholars and historians have long documented the effects that fiction has on society. It is now an integral part of education system. Children every term of every year in school, it noted. All language classes have students analyze and comprehend the meaning behind author's work. The account continued, examples such as J. Swift and his work such as Gulliver's Travels remain to this day. They so influential that any examination on literal history and social civics includes him. Next, it stated, we now ask why Genshin intends to undo the work that sociologists, historians, and many others attempt to do by uprooting the system created for oppressing minorities. The very same systems that we struggle so much in undoing, the systems that were made to automatic and seemingly futile to attempt fighting. The account questioned, why would HY be protected? Why does the company and its writers feel the system should be preserved? Finally, the account concluded, authors and activists have been killed in an attempt to fight back against the system, and today when we're so close to finally being rid of it, why does HYB intend to let all their deaths be in vain? Oh my gosh, this thing is insanity. Now, we all want to encourage you to also use your own words, where you speak your mind on the matter and share your thoughts on how this is not okay. That Hoyo continuously disrespects and does not care, but people whose culture they're using as basis in their game. The account finished. What do you make of these accusations against Hoyoverse and the instructions the boycotters are giving to players? What do you make of the boycott in general? Alright, myself over. Alright, my overall thoughts of that insanity ever reading. I cannot stand activists! They ruin whatever they touch. They bring up problems that were never there in the first place, and then they sell you the solution. They cause problems and then sell you a solution. How many times have they done this? They've destroyed Star Wars. They've destroyed Star Trek, Marvel, DC. They've basically destroyed the American mainstream comic book industry as a whole. Hollywood has basically done the same thing with activism. All I want is to get away from the world when it comes to entertainment. There are certain things that we need to be aware of, but it is also very healthy to just get away from things and enjoy yourself in a hobby without someone breathing down your neck or shouting in your ear about whatever. Seriously. And on the main note, I highly doubt Hoyoverse is going to do a damn thing. I highly doubt it. And in my personal opinion, I would definitely suggest for Hoyoverse or MiHoYo in general is to ignore this boycott and ignore these activists. If you ignore them, they will go away. This is how these people operate. They make absurd demands, and the moment you give them what they want, you give them an inch, they will take a mile. These types of people, you do not placate. You do not give in to their demands, and you do not give them what they want. Anyway, that's all I got for this. If you enjoyed my content, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed the video, please consider a like, and don't forget to click on the bell for notifications. And please leave a comment before you head out the door. And as always, screw the activists, stay out of our entertainment, and have a blessed rest of the day. This has been Ryder. I'm out.